I'm Ryan from ExtremeTerrain.com, and this is my review of the Smittybilt XRC Armor front bumper fitting all 2007 to 2016 JKs. There are a few different reasons to swap out the front bumper on your JK, either for style, for protection, or for additional features. And this bumper in particular has all three of those. I think the package looks pretty good, it definitely adds some additional functionality, and it'll do a pretty good job of protecting your Jeep. This bumper is pretty heavy and it's a little bit expensive. However, if you're looking for a bumper that has this look, this function, and adds this level of protection, I think this is a really nice option. I would say that this bumper is a mid-width bordering on stubby. The frame rail is going to come to about right here, so there's a little bit that sticks out past the frame rail, but overall it stays very close in and very tight to the center of the Jeep. In my opinion, a bumper of this style and this width looks especially good with a set of narrower fender flares. It just works really well together. This bumper is built from 3/16 inch steel, it's covered in a textured black powder coat, and as I mentioned, it has quite a few features that a lot of us are looking for in an aftermarket bumper. Right up here, it has D-ring mounts that are bolted directly into the frame rails, giving you plenty of strength to use as recovery points. It also has a built-in winch plate that's good for up to a 10,000-pound winch, which means that if you do want to add a winch, you can bolt it right onto your bumper and wire it up. You don't have to purchase an additional winch mount plate to get that installed, so you don't have to spend the additional money. This bumper also has a couple of light mount tabs right up here on the hoop, and of course the hoop itself is another feature. The hoop will add a little bit of protection, and it's also something that adds a little bit more style to the bumper. Now, one thing that's a bit of a drawback in my opinion for this bumper is that it doesn't allow you to use your factory fog lights. There are 5 holes drilled across the front of the bumper, and I imagine you could fabricate your factory fog lights or an aftermarket light into those holes. However, those are really there for style and a little bit of weight reduction more than anything else. They're not designed specifically to have your factory fog light bolt right into it. This thing is heavy, it's around 111 pounds. So even though it is narrow, there's a good chance that you may have a little bit of sagging if you're running factory springs on your Jeep, or even if you have an aftermarket spring that has a lower spring rate. This bumper installs a little bit differently than a lot of the other aftermarket bumpers available. The first step in any bumper installation is of course to remove your factory bumper, and you'll do that by removing the 8 nuts that hold the bumper onto the factory frame rails. Once that factory bumper is removed, along with the splash shield and the plastic frame cover on top, you can get to installing your new bumper. Now, what makes this installation a little bit different is that there is some drilling involved in getting this bolted onto your Jeep. The first step in installing this is to enlarge 2 out of the 8 holes on your frame horn. You want to drill those out to a 1/2 inch, maybe go to 5/8, just because there may be a little bit of a difference in manufacturing tolerances. Once you have those holes opened up, you can put the bumper in place, put a couple of nuts on it to hold it there, and then mark and drill the bottom of the front cross member. This is not something you normally have to do for installation, but either because of the weight of this bumper or just the design in general, it is recommended that you do that from Smittybilt. It is part of the installation. So you're going to end up drilling 3 holes in the bottom of the factory cross member and use the included carriage bolts and hardware to attach the bumper not only to the frame rails, which is the normal spot, but also to that cross member. Now, if you are planning on installing a winch on this bumper, I would recommend that you install the winch onto the bumper and then install the bumper and the winch as one package onto the Jeep. That is going to be one very heavy package, and you'll definitely need to have an extra set of hands around or an engine hoist to help you get this thing in place. However, putting the winch on the bumper beforehand does make it a little bit easier to install because it's easier to get to the bottom of the winch mount plate to tighten down the winch bolts. Any lights that you might want to add, you can always do that afterward, so the winch is really the only thing that you'll want to do ahead of time. A bumper installation like this will probably take you about 2 hours because you do have to drill the holes, so it is a little bit more complicated than a normal installation. You'll want to have a good socket set around, definitely a nice powerful drill, and a good sharp set of drill bits. When looking at the price of this bumper versus the value that you get, I think they're pretty evenly matched. This is a very well-built bumper. It's a big chunk of steel, it's 111 pounds of metal, It has a lot of the features that you look for in an aftermarket front bumper, from the hoop, the light mounts, the recovery points, the winch mount, even though I wish it did have factory fog light mounts as well. It's just a really solidly built bumper that, in my opinion, looks good. It has a nice coating on it, and it looks like something that is going to hold up for a long time. However, it is priced a little bit high when you compare it to some of the other bumpers on the market that have similar features and also have good build quality. If this is the style that you're looking for, these are the features that you want, I can't say anything bad about this bumper. However, if you are on a little bit more of a budget, there are some bumpers out there that are going to be similar to this one that'll save you a few dollars. So that's my review of the Smittybilt XRC Armor front bumper fitting all 2007 to 2016 JKs that you can find right here at extremeterrain.com.